In his State of the Union address, President Trump talked about unity, but he did not back down on the issues that had divided the parties. The president insisted he will build a wall along the southern border. He did not mention the 35-day partial government shutdown and only touched briefly on the next week's deadline for another possible shutdown. This image had a lot of people responding. It's of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi giving a sideways clap and a bit of a sideways smile as she responds with skepticism to the president's call to end revenge politics.
That picture, of course, encapsulating much of the evening. We heard the president deliver the speech in front of dozens of new Democratic women, and you saw them all dressed in white in support of suffragists, in support of women's rights, many of them wearing ERA buttons as well. And in fact, the president drew one of his biggest cheers of the entire evening when he acknowledged them.
Exactly 1 century after Congress passed the constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote, we also have more women serving in Congress than at any time before.
And CBS News took a poll of people who watched the speech, and it found opinions split along party lines. 97% of Republicans approving and 82% of Democrats less so among the Democrats. Major Garrett is at the White House. Major, good morning.
Good morning. President Trump began the speech with a call for bipartisanship. He ended it with a bid for what he called new American greatness. In the middle, some soothing words about domestic policies Democrats have supported, but he also implied Democrats are radical on the issue of abortion and embracing socialism. With another government shutdown looming, the centerpiece issue remained immigration and the ongoing legislative fight over a border wall.
The agenda I will lay out this evening is not a Republican agenda or a Democrat agenda. It's the agenda of the American people.
A typically combative president came with an olive branch to the democratically controlled House chamber, a place he was denied access during the partial government shutdown.
The state of our union is strong.
To avoid another shutdown in 10 days, the president will need a border security deal. He called for compromise.
I stand here ready to work with you.
Mr. Trump boasted about job and wage growth, suggested troop withdrawals were coming in Afghanistan and Syria, and announced a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam in 3 weeks.
If I had not been elected President of the United States, we would right now, in my opinion, be in a major war with North Korea.
And in a sign of things to come, the president previewed a new defense against House Democrats gearing up to investigate many aspects of his administration.
An economic miracle is taking place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations.
The president stuck to his hostile rhetoric about illegal immigration, referencing gangs, drug dealers, and human traffickers as threats to American citizens.
Tolerance for illegal immigration is not compassionate. It is actually very cruel.
Funding for a border barrier remains a sticking point with Democrats. And for Republicans queasy about another shutdown, Mr. Trump made this vow.
The proper wall never got built. I will get it built.
Some of the president's immigration language drew Democratic groans. Unable to get his way with the former Republican House on immigration, Mr. Trump faced a different mood. And look, as scores of women lawmakers wore white to represent the suffragette movement, they shared the spotlight with guests of the first family.
In June, I commuted Alice's sentence.
Like Alice Johnson, first-time nonviolent drug offender released from prison last June.
Officer Mattson, please.
Timothy Mattson, a SWAT officer who was shot while chasing the killer during the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting. And Judah Samet, a Holocaust survivor who also survived the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, celebrating his 81st birthday. Brought the room together in song. After the speech, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi applauded the president for noting the historically high number of women in Congress. Though she pointed out the vast majority are Democrats, and many of them ran to oppose Mr. Trump's agenda. Bianna?
Good point, Major. Thank you.